going on, guys, and welcome back to Touchdowns to Home Runs. My name is Bernie. Thank you for joining us today on the Touchdowns to Home Runs show. Hope that your day is going absolutely fantastic. We finally have the championship matchup set and ready to go for this year's Western and Southern Open in Cincinnati, the Masters 1000 event. And in a little bit of a surprise, it's going to be Rublev versus Zverev. I expect it to be a super interesting, exciting matchup. So today we'll be breaking that down, breaking down each one of these two players and their keys to victory. And then make sure to stick around towards the end of the video where I'll be giving my predictions on who I expect to come away victorious. Just before we do get to breaking down each one of these two players, though, let's take a look at their road to the finals. For Zverev, of course, he was coming off winning a gold medal in the Olympics in the Tokyo Games. Got it kicked off against Lloyd Harris in the round of 32, Pella in the round of 16, number 8 Casper Ruud in the quarterfinals, and then just moments ago finished off the second seed in the tournament, of course, in Tsitsipas. On the other side is going to be Rublev, of course, got it kicked off in the round of 32 in a bit of a tricky match against Cilic. It was Monfils in the round of 16, Benoit Paire in the quarterfinals, and then earlier on today, a big upset win against the top-seeded Medvedev. In terms of the history of this head-to-head matchup, Zverev leads the all-time series by a score of 4-0. Zverev year-to-date has 11 losses compared to Rublev's 13. Zverev also tacked on 3 titles. Rublev only has 1. In terms of their last meeting, of course, I mentioned that these two have played 4 times in the past. And 3 of 4 did come on the hard courts, but their last matchup was earlier on in 2020. It was a 3-set match in the Australian Open, the 4th round of that event. Zverev took by a score of 6-4, 6-4, 6-4. The match was pretty good overall. I would like to say that it was pretty competitive all around, but Zverev did a substantially better job in the return game and also won 91% of points behind that first serve, only giving up 12 points on his serve in general. I think the dynamic of this match overall has changed and is going to be a lot different, though. I think Rublev and Zverev are, of course, both in the midst of very solid 2021 campaigns, but I feel like overall their games all around are developing and really hitting strides at this point in the season. Let's start with breaking down Zverev, who no doubt, in my opinion, is quietly becoming one of the most dominant players on the entire tour, and at this time in the year is definitely hitting a stride. He's now put together an 11-match win streak, which includes wins against Djokovic, Khachanov, Tsitsipas, and Casper Ruud. Of course, as I was mentioning before, Zverev overall, though, has really surprised me this year and seemingly has become a major threat on the ATP Tour on all 3 of the surfaces, and he backed that up with his semifinal run at the French Open, Masters 1000 title earlier on this year in Madrid, and now will be looking to win his 5th career Masters 1000 title. Zverev overall has been really impressive this week. He's been able to limit his double faults, which is a huge weak part of his game. Being tremendous behind the first serve, limited points in general that he's given up in his service games, and in the return game, doing what he's needed to do, broken when he's had to, and overall just showing some real impressive game plans, in my opinion. In terms of the keys to victory for Zverev, well, number 1, do not double fault. He's done a decent job with that for the majority of this week, but it's probably his weakest area in his game. And he's still the player that ranks 3rd on the ATP Tour in average double faults per match with 5.4. Although Zverev seems to be serving well coming into this match, Rublev also ranks 10th on the ATP Tour in the past 52 weeks in terms of his return rating, and these free cheat points just can't happen, and they're not the way that you want to allow Rublev to get deeper into your own service games. Number 2 is make Rublev uncomfortable. This is a pretty tough task to do because of Rublev's ability to move around the court, extend rallies, but Zverev has to remember that he's also a tremendous baseline player and is definitely one of the most athletic players on tour. If you're Zverev, I think you're okay with having some extended rallies, but the more often than not that you can get short points, let's say under 5 points to go your way, I think the better off that Zverev is going to be. Let's flip over to his opposition, which is going to be Rublev, and what a nice win Rublev is coming off after being a set down to the number 2 player in the world in Medvedev. And what an important win, too, as the king of the 500 tournaments finally has a shot to take home his first Masters 1000 title. It was only really a matter of time, though, for Rublev to start making deep pushes into these bigger tournaments, and honestly, he has been one of the more consistent players on tour, actually has the most wins on tour in the past 52 weeks. This week wasn't a complete breeze for Rublev, though. 3 of his 4 matches have gone the distance, have gone 3 sets. The only exception was a very tough fought match, 7-6, 7-6 against Monfils. But with that being said, he's been strong behind the first serve and has had a very high first serve percentage in general of 73% or over in 3 of his 4 matches. What's really impressed me, especially in the Medvedev match, was his ability not only to make adjustments, but showcasing a strong baseline game. And Medvedev obviously is one of the best, if not the best baseline players on tour. But Rublev showed too that he's got a great ability to extend rallies. He can move around the court. And although, you know, he can hit winners, he's really, really deadly with that forehand. But he's able to win longer points as well. Keys to victory for Rublev. Number 1, win points behind that second serve. The second serve has definitely been an issue for Rublev without a doubt. And I'm not just talking about double faults. Rublev only won 40% of points behind a second serve in the Medvedev match and has been under 60% in 3 of his 4 matches this week. Rublev needs to find a way to raise those percentages, find a few quick fire holds in this upcoming match, and put some of the pressure back on that Zverev serve. Number 2 is pick your spots. I was saying earlier in the video that Rublev definitely has the ability to out-rally his opposition, but what allows this to be so effective for him is he makes other players feel like they gotta do just a little bit and that much extra, and that causes them to make errors. We saw it in the Medvedev match, who had way higher error counts than he normally has. So I think you pick your spots to go for the winners. Other than that, see how much you can frustrate a player like Zverev. Finally, I want to round it out with my prediction. Now, this matchup isn't easy to predict by any means. You got 2 players who are not only at the top of the ATP rankings, but I think 2 players who are in top form and who are really showing that they can be sensational players on the hard courts. For my prediction, though, I'm going to say Zverev in 3. I think he's been better on serve. Zverev's also been there, done that. He's got more experience deeper into these 1000s. I mean, he's won 4 compared to 0 for Rublev. And I think, you know, just more experience with deeper runs, even into some of the major tournaments. I also think that Zverev is better rested. Not that he hasn't played, you know, any tough matches or tough games in his matches. But I mean, Rublev, without a doubt, has spent more time on the court. 3 of the 4 have gone the distance in 3 sets, and it hasn't been the easiest of weeks for Rublev, but I still do think that he's got the ability to take a set here. I mean, what he's shown me this week, especially in that Medvedev match in terms of the adjustments and everything, just beyond impressive. So I'm expecting a really solid 3-set match, ending up going the way of Zverev. But anyways, guys, if you guys did make it to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts, comments, and predictions on this match down in the comment section below. Let me know down in the comments, who do you guys think is going to come away victorious and in how many sets? If you guys did enjoy the video, though, please make sure to do me a huge favor. Smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to Touchdowns to Home Runs for more content just like this. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys again next time.